Hi, welcome to the coaching game. I'm Laurie Lawson, and tonight my guest is Elise Park. Hey, Elise.
Hi, Lori. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you. Elise is a professional certified coach. She's also the co-founder of something that I'm dying to learn about, but we'll get to that, called Ashes Redeemed. And even better, she is the author of a fantastic 52 week devotional. Can you hold that up? Because I
Oh,
don't
absolutely.
my
Yeah.
copy is it's so pretty. Yeah, come over here. Yeah, just a little. Okay, Women's 52 devotional for a more Christian-centered life. So we're going to find out all about this stuff. I'm going to bet she's a Christian too, but hey, we didn't talk about it, but I think she might be. Yeah. So,
For sure.
Elise, tell me what happened. How did you get into coaching? That's always an interesting. Everybody has a little story how it called them and stuff.
Yeah, thanks for asking. And really, I found myself in a coaching role before I even knew what coaching was. I was working for a
Yes.
small startup software company, and part of my role was to meet one-on-one with the clients and help them use it. And what I learned pretty quickly in these conversations was that I needed to learn how to have productive conversations so that I could see that someone was actually moving toward a solution of some kind. And I just could tell that I didn't quite know how to set up a conversation for success in that way. And then I'm like, I got to learn about how to do this. And that's where I learned about coaching.
Wow, good for you. Totally unlike me, who I knew something was missing, and I wanted to go into coaching. And I thought, oh, it was really cool. I'm a personnel director. I'm a human re I know how to talk to people. And you get in coaching, and you go, well, I don't know how to talk to people at all. It's like I don't know how to ask good questions. So good for you for the self-awareness of that all. Yeah. And now, well, I guess maybe this is a crazy question, but how did you decide which came first? The ministry, so to speak, or the coaching? Or did you just decide one is going to enhance the other?
Yeah, well, I would say the coaching came first because it was just a
Oh,
role I was already doing and I wanted to learn how to do it better. And of course, once I actually completed my training, I saw just the possibility of how powerful conversations can really change people's lives. And so
yeah.
professionally, I continued on in that role for a while, which it changed also with startups. They usually do, right?
Yeah.
Um, I continued coaching in different areas, and it was about 2002, 2003, where I really wanted to use these skills in a ministry sort of context. Because as you mentioned, my faith earlier, and growing up as a Christian in the church, I learned so many new things in my coach training that I had never been exposed
Yeah.
to within kind of the framework of my faith. And I saw where so much of what I learned in coach training was supported by the scriptures. And so this, because it was new to me, I thought I want to bring this to other Christian women because if I hadn't heard of these things before, I bet other women hadn't either. And so that was really my purpose behind how can I bring what I've learned to a group of women who may otherwise be unaware of it, just like I had been.
Well, for those of us who aren't sure or have their own concept, what is a devotional? Why a devotional? Why did you decide, oh, I'm going to do a devotional instead of a book? And let me tell them all about what I know. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, devotionals are digestible. They're meant to be something that you pick up and you read and it's meaningful, and then you can put it down for a while, either a day. There's lots of daily devotionals. I haven't seen too many monthly devotionals, but at least something weekly. I wanted it to be something that didn't feel like it was a chore or like it was homework because I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I'm busy. I know what it's like to feel like if I'm doing a daily Bible study, if I miss a couple days, then I'm feeling behind and it can be kind of a stressful feeling. And I didn't want to incorporate that. So I thought a weekly devotional would be a good pace. And I designed it in such a way where a woman can choose to answer just kind of there's one main question, but then if she wants a deeper Bible study, there's another set of questions each week where she can actually get that. So kind of a choose your own adventure, but the point was to make it accessible.
Yeah, and I think that because first of all, I was totally surprised when I started looking it up on Amazon, where you can get it if you'd like. Started, and I went, oh my gosh, there's a lot of devotionals out here, and I was surprised. It's not surprised. I mean, I'm sure people are searching, and we all are searching, but it was like, wow, what makes this different? So I got a little deeper into Elise's devotional. And the setup, I think, is what's making this so absolutely amazing. And you break it down. It's yes, you certainly there's things to read, but it's not overbearing and it's not too long and it's just right. But you also have things like growth at a glance. Tell us the sections that are in this 1 week devotional, right? Every week is going to have this. Yeah.
Sure. So the growth at a glance is really just one self-reflection question that incorporates something that was talked about in the devotional, but it's biblically centered. It's to give someone a sense of awareness about where they are in relation to what they just read in the devotional. And if
Mm.
all she has is time for one question, then that's what growth at a glance is for. Beyond that, I have an additional four question set called Faith in Motion. And so this is where you have some further references in the Bible to go in and read. It's more of a Bible study that way. So I
Okay.
wanted it to be something there for the woman who doesn't have much time, and then something there if she has a little bit more time that she wants to invest.
Further, yeah, it's further investigation, I guess. Yeah, yeah,
Yes, absolutely.
further learning or something. The anchoring scripture is that's your text. That's the start of it.
Yes.
And the topics that you come up with, is there a system for that, or it's just like, oh, this week I want to talk about?
Right. I'm glad you asked because the whole structure of it is part of what made me excited to write it. Just like I was mentioning earlier about some of the really helpful self-development concepts I learned in my own coach training. I wanted to convey those to women in light of scripture. And so I have it set up, excuse me, to where we are looking at different spiritual disciplines. So things such as just being aware of what's going on around you. Um, this concept of embracing what is. A lot of us live a lot of our life in such resistance and rejection of things that we don't have any control over, and we get caught up and hung up on in feeling powerless. And it's maybe something that we haven't really explored fully what it looks like to slow down, embrace what is, and see what God might have for us in that season. So there's nine different, what I would call spiritual disciplines, and these are explored throughout the whole year. And the way that I do that is by bringing scripture in, different verses, and then of course the self-reflection questions.
So, but when you say explore throughout the year, so if I was taking embracing what is, would I find that in each discipline, or would you is it what is it go an inch deep or go a mile
Sure.
deep? And yeah, uh,
Yeah.
so is how does that work? Do
Good
you bring it
question.
all in? Yeah.
Yeah, every discipline has 6 weeks. So I call them scenic overlooks. And this was kind of just to evoke this idea of being on a prayer journey. And we start with attentiveness because we can't change anything until we're paying attention to what's going on around us. So we kind of go through what that looks like in the Christian life, what sorts of things are influencing our attitude. It's going to be things like our own values, our own built-in way of thinking. We're going to be looking at scripture through how our emotions motivate our attitude and our the way we approach life. So it is very systematic in the way I have structured it. So every scenic overlook has 6 weeks.
That's amazing. I have full faith in you because the way the whole thing is structured, it's like there's got to be a reason. And so I
Yes,
want to know
yes.
what the reason is behind all this stuff. I've always been a proponent of coaching because I think it's one of the most fabulous careers are out there because not only do you get to help people, but you every time you coach, you learn something about yourself. I'm wondering what did you learn while you were doing this book?
It was really eye-opening. I learned a lot of patience for one thing,
Yes.
a lot about detachment from the outcome. That's a huge thing with just learning through my own coaching journey as a client myself and then as becoming a coach. Just the benefit of being able to say, this is something that I'm working on and I care about, but not making it mean something about me
Mhm.
if I run into a hang up or something doesn't go like I think it should.
Okay. Yeah, life lessons. That's cool. Do you have another one? Was the experience so traumatic or so worthwhile? Do you have another one in plans or
Well,
have we heard the last of Elise or
no, I don't think so. I have several other guided prayer journals that I actually released prior to this one. So
Oh,
I
really?
have one for it's a 30-day guided prayer journal for wives, and then a companion book for the husband. And then I also have one for mothers. And so I consider these kind of like coaching intensives in a book. So they're meant to be each day for 30 days, and it takes you through a sequence of coaching session questions that you can self-reflect on.
Oh my gosh, she's so thorough. A companion book for the husband. I love it. Not that I don't think they need help, but
Right.
I definitely love that concept. Let me ask you something, which is really, I do this is Christian and this is great. Were you hesitant to bring that to the forefront and make this the focus of your work? Or is this just something that you really believe? I'll tell you why I'm asking, because I saw a friend of mine put something on Facebook and she had walked by a street in New York City where there was a neon sign that says proud to be a Jew. And we were all not saying, well, that we're not condoning or disowning or anything. We're just going, what courage did it take to put that out there? And I'm wondering, did you have any doubts or did that take courage or are you just so steeped in your faith that it's like, nah, of course.
Well, I had a lot of practice with this
Ah,
because earlier in my professional career was all about marketing. And so really being able to clearly say who you help is a service for everyone. That way, by letting everyone know that this is a devotional for a Christ-centered life. I consider myself a faith-based Christian coach. I figure those who are looking for help from someone who maybe shares that faith, they know it's me. And if I'm not the person for them, that's okay too. So I know that through my coaching skills, I can coach anyone. But I have a real soft spot and a heart for Christian women who or like me, they maybe grew up with steeped in their faith and in the Christian vernacular for things, but maybe could use a little bit of different perspective on how to actually apply that faith. And that's what I learned through these tools, and that's why I wanted to put them in this way. So I appreciate your question. I'm pretty much open about it. I put it out there and I let the Lord bring me who He wants me to work with and we just go from there.
Very interesting because I hear you saying I think that I'm taking standard scripture and I'm making it more functional for and so you don't need to do a heavy duty study and this and thou and these and it's just that I'm going to bring it to the modern not the mod yeah the modern world. What's wrong with the modern world? Bring it to the modern world and make it more usable for more people. That's how I saw the book. And it's like, wow, this is what a service. What a service.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I would say that's the intent, to honor the Lord through this work and through the skills He's allowed me to develop and to hopefully help other women in the process.
Yeah. Now, do you ever find that coaching and Christianity conflict or rub against each other?
I have not.
I love
I have
it.
not
No.
needed to, I've not found a conflict in that area because truly it is client centric around what they bring to the session to talk about. And I don't give them answers. I don't disciple them. I don't give them homework or things like that to do because we're all about in those sessions really helping them hone in and solve the issues that are there for them. And we can do that from a Christian perspective when we share that. And if for some reason I'm coaching someone who doesn't share a faith and we don't bring that into it, and that's totally fine too. But yeah, I haven't found that coaching needs to conflict with faith at all.
And so nice partner. Okay, cool. Yeah, yeah. So who comes to you? I mean, how do they find you? Who comes to you? Who's this book for?
Sure. Well, most of my current clients are actually other coaches who are in
Really?
exercising their faith somewhere in their either in their own practice. I work with women who serve on nonprofit boards. I myself am on sit on a nonprofit board right now. This was an organization that I founded and have been on the board for almost well over a decade now. I'm getting ready to rotate off. But so this is an area where there is also a lot of strong values coming forward, and sometimes there can be confusion on, gee, how do I apply my faith, or how do I navigate this tricky conflict where I'm getting roped in and it's not really my job. There's scope creep. There's different ways that we find ourselves in the middle of something, and I can support women absolutely through coaching, and then if they're believers as well, my book. Um, they'll message me and say, "Hey, I really loved week 3. That really spoke to me." And I love getting that. I don't expect to get those messages, but it always warms my heart when I do.
Okay, what's scope creep?
Oh, sure. So yeah, if you're working in an organization and it's kind of like jobs keep getting added to your plate, even when they're maybe not really supposed
Expensive,
to
yeah,
be yours, but
yeah.
because there's maybe a culture of like, just be nice, just get it, just go ahead and take that on too. It can get overwhelming, and serving on a board is typically, at least for nonprofits, I mean, it's volunteer. So it can be a really big lift when you are volunteering that much time. So, yeah.
Yeah. Have you seen changes? Oh, well, let's say, have you seen changes post-pandemic? Because I think my theory is that during the pandemic, everybody had the rug pulled out from under them. So wait, I did everything right. I know the rules. I followed them. What happened? And we all had to scramble and make our own. We've got to spend a lot of time by ourselves, good or bad. But we all had to scramble and sort of realign ourselves with reality. Have you seen any changes? Where have you seen? Let me ask a coaching question. Where have you seen where have you seen changes since you've been doing this?
Sure. Well, I would say my I was in coach training when the pandemic hit. So I was already working asynchronously online for my job. So that was actually not a huge change for me. But yeah, what we switched to an online dynamic for my coach training because it had been in person. And I was really unsure about how that would go because the in-person things were so powerful. And I'm sure that's when people were going into the office, that became their day to day. But having to just do a really quick pivot, I think put everybody on their toes. And I know in our own organization with it's a homeschool hybrid program that I've helped to co-found. And yeah, we had to address a lot of big questions really quickly, just like everyone did. And everyone's values really just got wrung out in COVID, right? Like we really got to see, um, kind of what rose to the top as priorities within our social groups, our work groups. So I would say just change-wise, it's been really interesting to see where everybody has landed. And now that, that sort of we're post that now, 6 years. So it's been very interesting to see that.
I would think that your or others' faith would be tested during such a crazy traumatic time. And I can see where your services will be so valuable. My goodness. How long has this book been out? Is this a new book or has
It's
this been out?
recent. Yes, just
Oh,
earlier this year.
yeah, I could see where something like this would definitely be of assistance, especially when people are trying to get trying or questioning their values. And it's like, well, wait a minute. This is not how it's supposed to be here, but so we all adapt. What can you tell us a little bit about Ashes Redeemed? What is that for? Because it sounds fascinating.
Sure. So this actually was developed before I got into writing any books or guided journals, things like that. This is a ministry I co-founded with my ministry partner, Jennifer, and she and I really wanted to help Christian women who were dealing with some sort of marital tumult around betrayal. And we wanted to bring help and support to these women who may be wondering what to do after a discovery of something like hidden pornography use, or maybe there's been an affair. And so, yeah, we dove into that sometime around 2022, 23, and that's been quite an adventure.
I'm sure you have stories that you're not going to tell, which is a good thing. Yeah. Fascinating. So it's like, what do you see for the future here? Because I think we all could use a little ray of hope. And what are your, I don't want to say predictions, but what do you think the future could hold, the possibilities, I guess. Yeah.
Sure. Well, one of my visions around coaching is because coaching is kind of a newer modality of help.
Hmm.
And it's more familiar, I think, in corporate settings, certainly familiar in the sports setting, which is actually where coaching came from. It's not a different type of therapy or counseling. It's its own kind of support system. And what I would like to see, especially among Christian and faith-based, I don't know, circles, is a normalization of seeking support that isn't counseling. There's a lot of counseling that's available through churches, but I also think that there's a real place for coaching within this in this space as well. So it took a while, I think, for maybe there had been some stigma around counseling early on, but now it's very commonplace. Most people will say, "Oh, I have a counselor," or "my therapist says," and there's no shame or stigma that I've detected, at least in the people I've talked to about that. But when it comes to coaching, they're a bit like, "What is that? Like, are you gonna, you know, tell me what to do?" And that we know that in coaching, that's not quite how it works. But yeah, that's kind of what I would like to see for the future.
I started so early with coaching that and people would ask, like, say, well, what are you coaching? Basketball? What are you doing? I was like, no,
Right.
no, this is a whole different game here. And that I think is, I love because but I think now coaching and therapy, it's almost become a status symbol. You don't have a therapist. What's wrong with
Right.
you? Surely this could help. So yeah, that's my thing too. It's beautiful to watch it evolve because you were here and you've been here for what, 16 years, like something like that. Is that when you started? No, yeah, I'm trying
Well,
to,
yeah,
yeah,
I started coaching earlier, but I was certified in 2020. So
yeah,
yeah.
so 6 years, yeah. And
Yes.
even then, there's been great changes, and I've been here for a long time, and it's like, yeah, it's nice to see that it's coming into its own and has its own status and it has its own respect, and so that's a good thing. What if a person, I think you kind of addressed this, but what if they go, oh, you know what, I love this whole idea, but I'm not sure I want to get into that Christian stuff. Would you recommend them for someone else, or can you adapt these lovely principles that you have, which are so cool?
Sure. Yes. These things can be adapted to anyone. So it's really not an only for this person sort of a
Yeah.
setup. Because like I said earlier, coaching is all about the client and what they
Right.
hope to achieve. So anything that we talk about or do really first comes from them.
Mhm. So tell me, how do you apply your coaching? I know you have lovely books, and I haven't seen your other ones, but I know I love this. How do you apply it? Are you one-on-one? Do you have group sessions? Do you speak? Tell me what you do.
Sure. Yes. Right now, I'm working one-on-one with clients only. When it comes to Ashes Redeemed, we do have a self-paced program for the woman who's wondering what to do after she's discovered infidelity in her marriage. So there's usually a question of, do I stay? Do I go? What does this mean for me? We know there's a lot there to unpack. So we have a course, self-paced course for that. And then my ministry partner, Jennifer, she's a betrayal coach. She's a certified professional coach as well. And she and her husband are also SYMBIS facilitators, which is Save Your Marriage Before It Starts. So they
Oh,
have a beautiful ministry together. They're very active in their church. But when it comes to my work with clients, I work individually one-on-one, and that's a perfect pace for me right now.
okay. And for the others, are the courses, are they online or are they?
Yes.
Ah, okay. So
Yes.
available to anyone. How can people find you? Where will they find you? You have a
Sure.
nice, easy
Yeah.
name, Elise Park, but
That's right. Yeah, I'm on LinkedIn. My Prayer Journeys website is
Mhm.
prayer-journeys.com, and you can see all about coaching, and my different books are on there. My books are also available through Amazon. I have the devotionals also available on TikTok Shop, and it's usually they have a lot of deals on TikTok. So
Okay.
that's kind of cool if you like TikTok and you're a shopper there. And then for the Ashes Redeemed things, just ashesredeemed.com, and that will show a woman everything that we have there support wise for her.
Okay. I'm just going to spell your name, even though it's in the corner there. It's like Elise, Elise Park, not Parks, because that's what I was looking up first. Where
Right.
is she? Where'd she go?
You're not the first one.
Now I'm sure it's just plain old park, one park.
Yep. One park.
So like we have like a minute left or so. So what are your plans for the future when it comes to a book? Can you give us a clue about what might be coming next?
I am really just excited to support women through this book. I don't have another one kind of on the menu yet. I have four now in circulation, so I'm gonna slow
You
down
probably take a rest, yeah.
and work with those that the Lord brings my way.
Wow. Okay. So please hold up that beautiful book again. And
Sure.
let's just remind people it's a woman's 52-week devotional for a more Christ-centered life. And I'm going to tell you that it's just now, you're not going to open up and go, oh, I got to write all this. It is amazing. This has been put together so well that I'm dying to jump into it and go, oh, I want to answer those questions too and reflect and everything. So job well done. And thank you so much for being a part of the coaching game. I'm so glad to be able to let people know that this is out here and that your services are out here too. And you're doing such a worthy job, as we all
Oh,
are, as we
thank
all
you
are.
so much, Lori. I so appreciate that and love that I was able to come here and be with you today.
It was a pleasure. Thank you.